right, let's go ahead and get this going. Let's talk about motivation, meditation, and inspiration. If it's not one of the three, I don't want it. Let's go ahead and get this live. Setting 1 hour timer. Okay. So, a lot of times we're going to go through different challenges. A lot of times the challenges that we're going to face off against are going to come from our ability to put ourselves in a place of focus, our ability to start getting down with the stuff that we go through on a daily basis. So let's go ahead and start exercising with that, putting ourselves in that place. Let's go ahead and pull up a couple of motivational quotes for the day. Let's go ahead and get started into it. So blessings to everybody out there, all of my fans. Subscribe, YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. We are live on all networks. Ask yourself this question every single day. Is it about motivation? Is it about meditation? Is it about inspiration? If it's not one of the three, I don't want it. Let's go ahead and take a look here at the top quote of the day, which is push yourself because no one else is going to do it for you. So when you put yourself in a place where you start to focus, when you start to actually put things down in front of you, you start to face off against challenges. You're going to have to do it for yourself. You're going to have to put yourself in a place. You're going to have to pick up yourself and say, hey, I can do this. I can definitely get down with myself. I could find a way to start to face off against those kinds of challenges. Another wonderful quote is push yourself because no one else is going to do it for you. A lot of times other people are going to tell you, hey, I could do this for you. But realistically, it's when you do it for yourself, when you put yourself in the place. The key to success is to focus on the goal, not the obstacles. So when you give yourself the ability to write stuff down, you start putting it in front of yourself, you start putting yourself in a place where the challenges no longer have an ability to stop you. The things that you go through no longer have a place to hold you back. The things that you focus on come from your skills, your ability to use what you can. If you can dream it, you can do it. So if you can actually see it in front of yourself, you can start giving yourself the ability to recognize it's possible for you. It's possible with you. It can happen through you. Everything is theoretical, possible until it's done. So if you could think about it, if you can put yourself in a place where you start to, think that you can achieve it, then eventually it starts to become doable. It starts to become available. The challenges that you face off against, you start to work through. The energy inside of you starts to become a reflection on the outside. So when we start to get to that place where we truly use what we have, we truly use the challenges that we face off against, the things that we're going through, the things that, other people would not face off against, the other people would not go through, then we start to get to the place where we are inside. And the challenges that we face off against are being manifested on the inside and are reflections on the outside. So a lot of times when people come to me, they're asking me how to utilize energy. They're asking me how to use the things that they have inside. They're asking me how to face off against their own challenges with who they are. They're asking me how is it possible for me to start to achieve myself. They're ultimately going to find themselves. And so when you hear the types of tools, and I have people that come to me all the time asking me how to utilize them. And they ask me how is it possible to utilize the tools that I have? And so as they ask these questions, they start to recognize that the gifts that they have are already inside them. The challenges that they're facing off against, the things that they're going through are ultimately inside of them. That ultimately, when you utilize what you do have, you can overcome your challenges. And so a lot of times the biggest challenge is focus. The biggest challenge is putting yourself in a place where you truly start to put things in front of you where you can overcome them. The biggest challenge is giving yourself the ability to, even focus for 30 minutes a day. Motivation, meditation, inspiration, the first part of a reflection of motivation is to give yourself the ability to focus for 30 minutes a day. Put yourself in a place where you're writing stuff down, where it's truly coming in front of you, where the challenges that you face off against, you have the ability to make it through. So are we putting ourselves in that place? Are we starting to check ourselves? Are we starting to give ourselves the ability to be who we are on the inside, to be the challenges that we face off against, to be the person that we are? Are we giving ourselves that place where we actually can go online and start researching quotes. Go online and start finding things to do. Don't just talk, act. Don't say, show. Don't promise, prove. Are you doing those things? Are you putting yourself in a place where what you write down is actually in front of you? Are you putting yourself in a place where what you say you're doing daily? Are you putting yourself in a place where the challenges that you take on, you face off against daily? That you give yourself that ability, that you give yourself time every single day, that you make sure that you pay you first. You go through the challenges and ultimately you become the results. And so are you putting yourself in that place? Are you giving yourself that? Are you allowing yourself that kind of energy to flow? And so we start to ask ourselves these types of questions, right? What do you got? What do you have? What's so great about you? Until you master you, what can you master? There's nothing that you can master. So first starting with yourself, putting yourself in a place where the foundation comes from within, where when you face off against challenges, it's you versus you. And I love this quote here. It says, nobody is perfect. Be strong and never give up. Remember, you're going to face off against challenges. You're going to go through things. People, places are going to work against you. Ultimately, what's most important is what you say about you, what you believe about you, what you focus on, what place you put yourself, what types of things you go through. Positive motivation is the best way to go. Putting yourself in a place where you're so focused that the foundation is you. When you utilize this channel, motivation, meditation, inspiration, when you give yourself the ability to reflect outwards, when you ask yourself the question, can I do this? Can I achieve it? Can I utilize what I have? Are we putting ourselves in that place where we believe that we're great? Are we putting ourselves in that place where we can pull ourselves up, where we become a tool in the universe, where the Most High God can utilize you, where the challenges that you face off against, you have the ability to overcome? And so a lot of times that's the question we got to start asking ourselves. A lot of times that's the only thing that we're really facing off against. We're facing off against ourselves. And so the tools, the things that I share are the ability for you to be able to do that for yourself. All I want to teach you is how to use what you have. I want to teach you how to use the challenges that you face off against. I want to teach you how you can be you, how you can go through the things that you go through, and you can go through the things with overcoming mentality, with an ability to achieve, with an ability to face off against it, with an ability to be able to go through it, to make it to where you have what it takes, where you are your best friend, where you are your best challenge, where you are the one who has the ability to overcome these challenges within yourself. And so a lot of times that's what it's going to be about. It's going to be about you versus you. It's going to be you versus you. It's always going to be, can I do this? Can I achieve this? Can I become this? And so when you don't put it on anybody else anymore, and you realize you can do it with yourself, a lot of things change. The realistic things start moving in your direction. The ability to use the tools that you have, like quotes. Perfect one is your health, right? So looking after my health today gives me a better hope for tomorrow. Are you giving yourself the ability to take in the right things? Are you taking in things that you're putting in, that you're actually recognizing that they're becoming results? We manifest a reflection outwards of our mind. The body is clay to the mind. When the mind becomes a place of clarity, when the ability to utilize what you do have starts to be aligned, when the challenges that you face off against you can overcome, when you put yourself in a place where you're utilizing what you have, it's not going to be about what you don't have. It's going to be about what you do have and what you do with what you got. It's going to be about you versus you. It's going to be about you facing your challenges, you finding a way to overcome your challenges. And so when we give ourselves this, we give ourselves this place, we start to recognize it. And so are you allowing yourself, better yet, are you giving yourself And so what does it take? Where can you go? What kind of reading can you do? What kind of place can you be in? So this is what it's about. It's about you achieving you, Ultimately, what I'm here to do is share you the tools that I utilize for myself so that you can use them for yourself, so that you can make it through the challenges that you go through on a daily basis, so you can be who you are on the inside, so the reflection can radiate outwards from within who you are. And so, sometimes challenges are going to come against you, places are going to be against you, people are going to be against you. Ultimately, it's going to be you versus you. Ultimately, it's going to be you who's going to find a way. It's going to be you that's going to sit down with you. And so, recognize that when you are positive, when you're putting yourself in a place where you have the ability to have the mentality, you're going to have a strong mentality. You're going to have a strong belief in yourself. And the best way is to start to master you. The best way is going to be to start to face off against you. The best way is going to be for you to recognize that you can do it, You can make it through it, that you have what it takes. And so are you doing that on a daily? Are you giving yourself that? Are you, let's go ahead and take a look at some of these quotes here. Like, let's go ahead and pull up a Thomas Jefferson. In the matter of a style, swim with the current. In the matter of principle, stand like a rock. So are you giving yourself the ability to stand? Are you giving yourself the ability to be on you? Are you giving yourself the ability to face off against your challenges? Are you putting yourself in a place where what you have is what is worth it? People throughout time have faced off against challenges. People throughout time have had things that worked against them. People throughout time have had things, not always work out perfect. It's not about it working out perfect, guys. It's about you versus you. Nobody else is going to do it for you. Nobody else is going to make it through it for you. One of Steve Jobs' best quotes was, once we recognize that this world's made by people that are no more intelligent than you, it comes down to your mentality. It comes down to what you utilize. It comes down to who you are on the inside. It comes down to, what you got. Are you putting that type of thing in front of yourself? Are you reading those types of things? Are you allowing that kind of mentality to manifest itself inside of you? Ultimately, you are the one that gets to answer that question. Ultimately, you are the one that gets to go through it. And so as we do that, as we become that, as we challenge that, give ourselves that place. We must dare to be great. We must realize that greatness is the fruit of toil and sacrifice and high courage. Teddy Roosevelt, Throughout time, these people have understand that focus is important. Throughout time, these people have taken themselves to this place, where they recognize that the things that are around them have no way to stop them. What they go inside is what it's about. As I start to see people and they start to seek me out, as they start to put themselves in a place where they're truly asking me for help, as they're truly asking me how it's possible, how they can do it, how they can achieve it for themselves. A lot of times it's going to be hard, like getting yourself in a place where you're focused, getting down to where you're fasting, where you're truly getting down with yourself is not easy. Getting down to where you face off against the things that are truly working against you, when you start to be honest with yourself and you start to write it down, when you start to put yourself in that place where you're starting to use that kind of gifts, when it's truly, as Eric Thomas said, as bad as you want it, as bad as you're going to breathe. So a lot of people, they're searching for something when they already have it inside of themselves. You already breathe. You already have you. You already have your challenges. You already have your ability. You already have your manifestation. It's ultimately going to be inside of you. It's ultimately going to be inside of you to face off against it. And so these are some of the tools. These people throughout time are amazing. They've created things that drive themselves and also drive other people. More people would learn from their mistakes if they weren't so busy denying them. So when you put it in front of yourself, be honest with yourself. Put yourself in a place where you can do it, where you can achieve it, where you can master it, where you can be who you truly are on the inside. Give yourself that permission. Give yourself that place. Give yourself that place where, it's you and you. If that means you shut the door, that means you shut the door. If that means that you write for an hour a day, that means you write for an hour a day. If that means you sing for an hour a day, that means you sing for an hour a day. But no matter what it is, do it. Give yourself it. Own it. Give yourself that place. Because you can do it. You can achieve it. You can become it. You can face off against it. You can overcome it. And so a lot of times, that's what it's going to be about. It's going to be about you and you. It's going to be about you versus you. It's going to be about the challenges that you're facing off against. It's going to be about the person that you want to be. And so a lot of times I do energy readings. I give people the ability to utilize that. I give them the ability to see the tools, the gifts that they have inside of themselves, to understand that they can overcome their challenges, to understand that they got what it takes inside, that they have the ability to face off against their own challenges. You know, a lot of times when somebody comes to me, they're coming to me to learn. They're coming to me to utilize what they have. They're coming to me to see what they can take. You know, what kind of a place they can go through, what kind of a challenge they can go through. And so when we do this, when we give ourselves this, when we start to recognize that inside is where it matters the most, you know. And so you know, when we give ourselves this a permission, a lot of times we don't give ourselves permission. A lot of times we don't get into it to the point, you know, where we're serious at it. You know, get down with yourself. Truly put it on pen and paper. Put it down in front of yourself. Ask yourself what you truly want. Realize that when you do that, it's not always going to come possible in the beginning. It's going to require you to put a constant hammering into it. It's going to require you to believe in yourself. It's going to require you to face off against your challenges, to recognize that what you have is what it takes. You know, a lot of times we're in a place where we don't feel like we can do it. We don't feel like we can achieve it. We don't feel like we can believe in ourselves to that level. And it's that person who does, who ends up ultimately achieving their dreams. It's that person who's willing to, you know, write that stuff down, to put it in front of ourselves. You know, what is it that makes you special? You know, have you studied yourself well enough to where you know what makes you you? Where you know that you can, you know, master some things that you might not have been able to, that you can get down with yourself to the point where you face off against your challenges, that you can, you know, ultimately overcome the things that you face off against. And so when we focus to that level, we start to move things out of the way. You know, the things that are not meant for you, they move out of their way on their own. They move out of their way because it's not meant for you. So when those things move out, let them move. Let them go. Let them be on their own. You don't have to be upset about it. You have to understand the process. Understand the process of being you. Understand the challenges that you face off against that make you you. And so we give ourselves that permission. We give ourselves that place. We face off against this stuff to the point where we can do it, where we can achieve it, where we can become it, you know? And so on a daily, that's what it's about. You know, it's about you versus you. It's about you believing in you. It's about you facing off against you. It's about you continuing when other people would just give up. It's about you believing when things aren't working perfect. It's about you going through it when others wouldn't go through it. You know, are you getting into that with yourself? Are you facing off against things, you know, that like ultimately would end up, you know, challenging somebody else, right? And, you know, when we put ourselves in check, when we give ourselves the ability to sit down, when we give ourselves the ability to make it through things, we give ourselves the ability to believe in who we are. You know, we face off against challenges on a daily basis. What kind of challenges are you facing off against today? What kind of place are you putting yourself in where you have the ability to ask you? You know, where you have the ability to ask yourself that question. You have the ability to, you know, face off against that with you. Like, I mean, a lot of times that's what it's going to be about. It's going to be about you versus you. It's going to be about you facing off against you. It's going to be, you know, you that's going to stop you or you that's going to move you forward. You know, so when we're in that place, when we're in that kind of focus, when we're in that kind of challenge, we got to get inside of ourselves to overcome it. We got to get into our mind to get to that place of focus where we can achieve it. We got to get to our mind to we allow ourselves to at least have a little bit of time for ourselves each day. You know, a lot of times that's what we're facing off against, and we do have to realize that other people are going to definitely need us, but we first got to give ourselves that time, otherwise we won't have any time for ourselves. And so it's not selfish to ask for a little bit of time each day for you. You might have a lot of goals going on, you might have a lot of tasks going on around you, but it's what's going on inside of you that matters the most. It's about what you are able to do with what you got. And a lot of us have a lot of gifts out there. You all have a gift. It's going to take for you to study it. It's going to take for you to put it in front of you. It's going to take for you to start to ask yourself that type of question. Do I have what it takes? A lot of times, the only person that's stopping ourselves is us. Actually, 100% of the time. The only person that's stopping you from the challenges that you're facing off against is you. So you got to ask yourself this question. You got to ask yourself if you can do what it takes. If you can put yourself in that place. If you can face off against those kinds of challenges. If you truly have what it takes, then the results will show. If you truly have what it takes, the reflection will radiate. If you truly have what it takes, the reflection will radiate outwards from within you. And so when you start to get down to that level, where people start to come to you and they start to see it for themselves, it's going to come down to your groundwork. It's going to come down to how much time you spent with yourself. It's going to come down to your ability to reflect outwards from within and to recognize that you can do it, you can achieve it, you can become it. But it's in your mind that it first starts. It starts when, other people would fail and you're still continuing. Other people would say it's not possible and you're still going. And so when you give yourself that every single day, when you put yourself in that place, when you face off against challenges on a daily basis and you believe in yourself, when you start to see that you can do it, that you can achieve it, that you can become it, that what you have inside is a blessing, then the radiating light that radiates outwards from that level of focus becomes your foundation. And a lot of times what we're neglecting is our foundation. A lot of times what we're neglecting is the ability for us to see that we can do it with what we got. So first, ask yourself the question, am I writing stuff down? Am I truly putting it in front of myself where what I have I can overcome? Is my mentality there to that level? Is my mentality there to that place? Is my mentality, can I do this? Can I achieve it? Can I overcome it? Can I utilize the gifts that I have? Can I start to be used as a tool in the universe? Can the universe use the tools that I got on a daily? And so are you asking yourself this type of question? Are you putting yourself in this type of a place where what you got is what it takes? Where what you got inside is the solution, And so a lot of times people are going to need the gifts that you have. A lot of times people are going to ask you if this is what you have, if this is what you can do, if this is what it takes. Are you answering back to the universe with, yes, I am, And so that's where it starts. That's where it starts with you. It starts within you. It starts around you. It goes and it works with you on a daily. It works through you on a daily. But it's got to be up to you. It's ultimately you versus you. You could ask for my help. I got my network, motivation, meditation, inspiration, .yoga. I do have people that follow me. I got my Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, Periscope going, and I got my networks. And I have been doing this for years, but it's up to you. You can seek me out. I got my prices on there and stuff like that. I got the stuff that I can do. I can help you out. I can mentor you. I can align you in a place where these things start to work for you. But that's ultimately up to you to want it. It's going to be up to you who's going to achieve it. It's going to be up to you who's going to get there for yourself, because it's in the mind. You see, the body is clay to the mind. The manifestation around us comes from the mind. It comes from the level inside of yourself to how bad you want it. And so as one of my students asked me this question, the question that they were asking is, how do I do 7 shakes a day? They asked me this question about diet, right? And so I said, I can't tell you what to do on your diet. I can only tell you what I do for my diet. And so I told them you would have to start with lemons and salts. And you'd have to run that and run that and run that. till your system almost literally gives up. And I mean almost gives up. And so at that point, then you build it like building blocks. You put on another shake and then another shake, and you run it until you hit the wall truly. Because we only succeed through failure. We only succeed when we're willing to put ourselves in a place where we're that willing to focus. When we're only willing to put ourselves in a place where we're that willing to continue. Where we're that willing to put ourselves in a place where we can face off against the challenges. Because we only got one life. And you gotta wanna live as bad as you are alive. You know, Eric Thomas got that right. You gotta want it as bad as you can breathe. You gotta want it as bad as that. And so when people come to me, they come to me to learn from me. They're ultimately coming to me so that they can understand themselves better. They can understand their challenges better. They can overcome their challenges. They can get to the place where they're utilizing what they have inside. They can connect with their energy. They can start to understand themselves. They can start to master themselves through the tools that only I can utilize to teach with, which is myself. We each have gifts. So if you have gifts and you're coming to me to learn from the gifts that I have, what you're looking for is yourself. You're looking for who you are inside. You're looking for the person that you are on the inside. You're looking to become the person that you are inside. You're looking to master yourself. You're looking to how you can achieve it for yourself. How you can give yourself the ability to gain that energy from within you. And so when we put a foundation of focus down in front of you and you fail, then you're succeeding. If you're succeeding, it's too easy. So that's the reason why it's worth it. It's worth it to put this stuff down on paper. It's worth it to speak your mind out. It's worth it to put yourself in a place where you're reading positive quotes. You're reading positive things. You're writing positive things. You're asking the creator of this universe for blessings. Because when you don't ask, as Steve Harvey said, you can't receive. So when we ask, then we can receive. So you got to put your mind in a place where you're so focused that you ask for the things that you truly need. You ask for the things that are the blessings that can come your way. You ask for the challenges that allow you to be 100% you, and 10% the God of this universe can utilize it through you. So you got to ask yourself, can you do that? Can you get there? Can you achieve that? You know, can you help out other people with the gifts that you have? Because each of you have gifts that when you utilize the gifts you have inside, you can do it better than anybody else. It doesn't mean other people aren't going to be there. It doesn't mean you're not going to have to fight for it every day. It's going to take a mentality that's going to manifest itself on the outside. It's going to take a mentality to get that energy flowing to that level. It's going to take a mentality to give yourself the ability to believe in yourself, to give yourself the ability to utilize the things that you have, to utilize the energy inside of yourself, to get to the place where you can become a manifested reflection. And so when you focus to the level where other people identify you with something, they're going to see your level of focus as strength. They're going to see your level of focus as motivation. So when you ask yourself a question every day, am I motivation? Am I in a place where I can use this? Am I in a place where I have this? Am I in a place where I could face off against this? And ultimately, the thing you see is you. Ultimately, the place you want to be is with you. Ultimately, what you truly want to be is who you are on the inside. So how are we going to get there? How are we going to put ourselves in that place? Have you asked yourself this question? Can I do this? Is what this guy talking about, is it real? When you ask those people that I've taught, that I've helped out, and they start to say things, they start to put out testimonials that they listened to what I'm talking about, and they started manifesting it on the outside, then you realize it's real. Then you realize that what I'm talking about is a mentality called meditation, a mentality called you, the mentality to achieve challenges that you face off against. Last week I had somebody who called in. They had an energy reading done. The next day, within a few days, they ended up trying to get a place to live, and they got an apartment. They had it written down that they wanted something greater. They went and got that something greater. 3 acres for the same price because they could think past it. You know, when things don't fall in place for you, realize they're not meant for you. When they don't fall in place for you, it's because something better is coming your way. Recognize that you have the ability to achieve things. You have the ability to go through the challenges that you go through. You have the ability to get to the place where you want to go and face off against the things that you want to face off against. But you got to be willing to do it. You got to be willing to put it down on paper. You got to be willing to put yourself in a positive mentality where you are actually literally manifesting it.
where you're so focused that you're not surprised that that ends up being the results, where you're so focused that you achieve some things that other people would not achieve. And so that's where things start to become the foundation. So when we utilize the foundation of focus, when we truly utilize the gifts that you have, the gifts inside of you start to become something that other people need. They start to become something that other people want. They start to become a manifestation on the outside. You got to focus to that level where what's within radiates outwards, where you get so connected to the universe that the things that you get are not a surprise when you achieve those results. You want the results? You want the results? Get yourself down to the place where you start to understand you first. Get yourself down to the place where you start to get inside of you first, where you start to face off against you first, where the things that are inside of you start to become blessings, where you leave blessings for other people, where the centering of you is you, where the challenges that you face off against are you, where, the only thing that you're facing off against is yourself. How about those? How about that place? Ask yourself that question. Really sit down with you and grind it out. Sit down with you, get inside of you. Get down to that place where that becomes a process, where it becomes a process to achieve, where the process becomes the benefit, the place where you are, the challenges that you go through. You're not surprised when you overcome your own challenges. Ask yourself that type of question. Truly, what do I got? What do I have? Can I get inside of myself to that level? Are you auditing yourself? Are you giving yourself it? Are you putting yourself in that place? Are you manifesting your future? Are you so much into here that what's coming on the outside no longer is a surprise? Are you so much in here that this becomes you? That your diet is from your mindset? That your walk is from your mindset? That you can achieve things that other people would not achieve, places other people would not go. And when you do that, when you give yourself that, when you allow yourself that place, man, you can do great things. You can do great things with your mind. You can do great things that, we're all going to have weaknesses. We're all going to have places that we can't make it through. It's up to the mind to do it. It's up to the mind to achieve it. It's up to the mind to find the place inside of you to start to study you, to start to get to the place where you are the classroom. A lot of times we're going to feel like we're not qualified till we start. But then you got to ask yourself the question, how long have I been doing this? How long have I been in this place with myself? Have you asked yourself this question lately? Ask yourself that question. Get to that place where you start to know you, where you start to challenge you, where you are the results. And let the universe do it for you. Let you be a tool in the universe. Allow yourself to be that tool. Allow the energy of the universe to flow through you. Allow it to flow with you. Allow it to work through you. If you're in a position, recognize that you are that position, that you are that place. Bruce Lee talks about being like water. This is what he's talking about. He's talking about the ability to utilize it to shape yourself, to be formless, shapeless. Put yourself in that place with that kind of mentality where you can achieve what you want to achieve. Where Andrew Carnegie said, what the mind can achieve, we can see. And so if you can achieve it in your mind, it can become possible in your day. And so that's what people come to me to learn. They ultimately come to me to learn how to use the energy inside of themselves, to utilize who they truly are, to utilize the things that they go through on a daily basis, so they can master the one thing that matters the most themselves, so that the universe can utilize them as a gift. And you do have gifts inside of you. You have things around you. You have challenges that you face off against, things that other people might not be able to do, but they were tailor-made for you. They were tailor-made for you to make them through. Are you accepting that for yourself? Are you putting yourself in that place? Are you going through those kinds of challenges to where you have what it takes inside of you, to where you have what it takes to overcome your challenges. That, when you're that focused, you can do it. When you're that focused, you can achieve it. And so, as we become that kind of student, as we start to get to that place of extraction, where we start to center ourselves to the place where we can overcome it, we start to get down with ourselves and the challenges that we face off against, we start to overcome. Now, you've learned a lot of things in your life. You've been through a lot of challenges. Good job. Have you started to learn from those challenges? Have you started to get down to that knowledge? Have you started to shut that door and to relive those challenges? Have you started to get down with that kind of stuff inside of you? You have the gifts that you can do, where you have the ability to overcome those challenges. Where what it takes is you. You can do this. You can achieve it. Ultimately, what we have inside of ourselves is there for us. You can get through it. I asked myself this question. I was in a situation where I had to focus to the point where I could extract the knowledge inside. I had to focus to the point where I could overcome challenges. I had to focus to the point where I believed that I could love myself more than I loved my wife. In this place, I found myself. In this dark place, I found who I am. I found the person that I am on the inside. I found the challenges that I faced off against. I recognize I am centered inside. I have a classroom. I am a student. And I am a teacher. And so other people come to me to learn how they can get there too. They come to me to learn how they can push the levels, how they can achieve masteries within themselves, how they can get to the place where the energy inside flows to that level. And so they ask that question on a constant. They ask me, how is it possible? And then those people that are pushing themselves, they then ask me how to push even farther. And so this is what it's about. It's about you centering within you. It's about you finding you. It's about you having what it takes. It's about you going through what it takes. It's about you seeing that you are a blessing, that you can do this, you can achieve this, you can become this, that you are a blessing of the Most High, and that this universe was created so that you can utilize this universe. But it's in your knowledge. It's in your first seed of that first knowledge that you had, that first lesson that you learned through a place of focus, through the path of the journey. Through the darkness, we get to the light. Through the darkness, we find ourselves. Through the darkness, we pick ourselves up. Through the darkness, we overcome our challenges. Through the darkness, we get to the place where we decide it's time to get up. It's time to eat dirt. It's time to get to the place where we can achieve it, where we can become it, where we can grow through it. And so when we gain that kind of knowledge, the light inside of ourselves starts to radiate. The light inside of ourselves starts to become bright. The light inside of ourselves starts to become the knowledge that's sufficient inside. Can you see it inside of yourself? Can you understand that when you start to gain access to that knowledge, it's like reading chapter 3 when you're on chapter 1. You got to give yourself the time for it. You got to give yourself the time through it. You got to be able to face off against it. But it's up to you. It's ultimately up to you. Nobody else can do it for you. You got to want it for yourself. You got to want it inside of you. You got to understand, that, people search out meditation instructors. They search out people who do this on a daily. They search out people who utilize it into a place of mastery. But it's ultimately self-knowledge. It's ultimately getting to the place where you understand your knowledge and your level of focus. So, what it takes is this. You. It takes you. It takes as simple as you. It takes the ability to breathe. You can do it. That's what people come to learn from. The energy inside of themselves. I've been doing this for so long that I don't let the chatter stop it. I don't let the chatter stop the ability to be who you are on the inside. You know, and if you believe in yourself to that level, you're with me on this. If you haven't yet, I'm here for you. And if you're on this and you're at this level, come on, we'll push it to the next level. Let's see what you got. Come on, take on my meditation. Let's do it. We'll see what you got inside of you. So, you got to believe in you. So, we have it. You know, you got somebody in front of you who's been doing this for years. You know, a lot of people are trying to put it on themselves. I want to uplift you. I want you to see that, you know, your focus is important. Your knowledge is important. Very important is your knowledge. It's up to you to read it. It's up to you to gain it. It's up to you to get to that place where this becomes a classroom. It's up to you to hear what I'm saying and start to see the blessings for you. It's up to you to start giving yourself the place that you need. You know, it's not for other people to say you're not qualified. Ask yourself how many years you've been alive. Ask yourself how many lessons you've been through, how many challenges you've been through, how many places you've gone through. Ultimately, the self-study is where the light expands. Ultimately, the self-study is where the mastery of reflection, of meditation comes from. So when people come to learn from me, they're coming to learn from me the skills that I have used and the tools that I have used so they can use their own tools. So they can use their own abilities inside of themselves. So that the universe can use the tools that I have so they can achieve the level of tools that they have. And so we can do this all together. We can become conductors in this universe. We can use the blessings that we have. And so, yeah, I've been doing this for so long that I understand that it's my blessing. I've been meditating and in this place of reflection for so long that I can read energy inside. I've been in this so long that I've got down with this mind to create this body's clay, to manifest it on the outside, to master the ability to understand. That's it. It's you. Your knowledge, your focus, when you get to that place of discipline, it becomes centered. Are you centered inside of you? Are you inside of the focus and knowledge inside of the classroom of you? Are you in joy with you? Are you in a place where you have the connection to the universe? Where you become that person in the universe who the Most High has a relationship with? Are you down with yourself? Are you truly who you are on the inside? And so that's what it takes. You know, it takes you. You know, I am so grateful that years and years ago I sat down and I did meditation so that I could teach other people how to do it for themselves. So that they can see that this thing that's inside of me is determination. You know, it's a place of discipline. If there's one thing, if there's a last day on the face of this planet that I have, I want to be known as disciplined to the point where a reflection left you with inspiration. I want you to see inside of yourself that you can uplift you, that you can become a light in this universe, that you could face off against your own challenges, that you can lighten the day for other people just by being yourself, just by being who you truly are, by giving yourself the ability to put yourself in check, to see that you can do it, that you can achieve it, that you can become it, that you have what it takes. So for so far, so long, people have been coming to me to ask me how to do stuff, you know, and they think that it's not possible, but I'm telling you, inside the body's clay to the mind, the manifestation is your discipline. It's your ability to get to that place where you know your focus is your foundation, your knowledge is being extracted, and you got what it takes. You have what it takes to overcome your challenges. You have what it takes to get to the place inside of you. You have what it takes to be the blessing that you are inside. And you have what it takes to realize that you can do this. I want you to see that you are a blessing in this universe. I want to show you. I want to teach you. I want to be with you. I want to walk with you. I want you to see that you can do it. And it's not about how many times you failed. It's not about your failures. It's about when you get back up. What time do you get back up? When do you decide that your knowledge and your focus is sufficient for you to be centered, to be the blessing that you are in this universe? When are you able to give yourself that permission? When are you able to give yourself that place? When are you able to overcome those kinds of challenges? And when are you able to be who you truly are? You are a blessing. You just have to see the mentality to achieve it. You just have to see it in front of you. You have to see that you can do it, that you can become it, that you can overcome it. And so when you put yourself in a place where you become that disciplined, you know, the universe has the ability to use the gifts you have. It will start to use you. It will start to ask you what it takes. Are you with you to that level? Are you facing off against you to that level? You know, Bruce Lee said it best. I see when I fight from a third person. I see when I fight from a third person. Can you see that classroom that you are? Can you see that place that you are and that classroom at such a level where you can be there, where you can study you, where you are in the third person, mastering you, where you are using the tools that you have, where you are using the challenges that you have, where you are using the blessings that you have to get to where you want to go? Can you create the whole picture together through your mind? The body can manifest what your mind can do. Are we doing it? Are we becoming it? Are we asking ourselves these questions? You know, are you there with you? Are you going to overcome you? Are you going to get down with you? Do you believe in you? You have to ultimately be your best friend. You have to ultimately say, I am going to be honest with myself. I am going to face off against my own challenges. I am going to overcome my own challenges. I am going to get to the place where the body becomes clay to the mind, where the ability to overcome one's challenges comes from the ability to manifest it from their level of knowledge and focus, to the place of discipline being them, to the place of discipline being the ability to overcome it. You know, a lot of times people ask you the question, what's it worth it to you? You know, what is it worth to you? And, you know, you have to be the one to answer back with what it's worth. So is your knowledge and your focus a blessing? Is your knowledge and your focus within you radiating light? Is the knowledge and the focus within you able to achieve it? Is the knowledge and the focus inside of you to the point of manifestation? We can do it. We can become it. We can overcome it. But we got to have a mentality to do so. That's the connecting. That's the place of discipline. And ultimately, that is what people are coming to me for. They're coming to find discipline within themselves. They're coming to me to ask me the question, how can I start to understand me? How can I start to get to the place inside of me? And so a lot of times, the light that radiates outwards is already there. It's already within you. It's up to you to want it bad enough. It's up to you to want it within you. It's up to you to want to achieve it. It's up to you to want to get to it. It's up to you to want to go through it. It's up to you to want it so bad that you reflect it outwards, that it becomes you from within you. You are a blessing in the universe. You are a light in the universe. You are a daughter or a son of the Most High. And it's about time somebody said that to you. It's about time somebody told you that you're a light in this universe. Seek out the light. Pull yourself up out of that darkness. Get to the place. Focus and realize that we are shaped in the dark, formed in the dark, so that we can live in the light. Be with the light in this universe. Be in connection with the Most High. Put ourselves in a place where we become a blessing, and where the blessings work through us, where the blessings work around us, where we leave blessings for other people, where we become that level within ourselves, where we are achieving things that other people would just call impossible. And when you start to manifest that level, pull up other people with you, help other people out. Realize that your light can radiate in such a way it can bend positivity out of your direction. Uplift other people so that they can see the light inside of themselves, so that they can see the ability inside of themselves, so that they can achieve it for themselves, so that they can go through it. They're going through paths, they're going through journeys, they're going through challenges. It's going to be up to them to pick themselves up. As they see you do it for you, that's going to mean something different to them. That's going to mean they can do it too. And as I picked up myself, as I got to that place where I recognized that I could do it, that I could learn it, that I could teach it, I started to recognize that the Most High God might just have a place for me, a tool for me, a tool for you. You can utilize my tools, connect with my networks, motivation, meditation, inspiration, yoga, YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, Periscope, and Twitter. So what is it that you need? What kind of challenges do you have that you can't overcome? What kind of a place can we utilize this focus, this knowledge to a level where you see the blessings inside of you, where you start to become that disciplined, where you start to overcome your challenges, where the things that you go through, you can do, you can become, you can achieve. I thank the Most High God every day that I'm alive, because the things that I have been through, the places that I have gone, the challenges that I've been through, other people would be up in a wheelchair. Other people wouldn't even be walking right now. Other people wouldn't even be moving their arm right now. But you know what the most important piece of all of that is? Right here, the mind. Your mind is the most important thing you have. Your body is clay to your mind. So when you see that you have what it takes, when you truly see that you can do what's within you, that you can become it, achieve it, overcome it, you start to see you're worth it. And so when you recognize that your mind, that other people value you, that your knowledge and your focus is needed, that the place that you are inside radiates light in the universe, that the challenges that you face off against you can overcome, that you can get to that place inside of yourself where you have what it takes, that's when the universe has the ability to use your blessings. That's when the universe has your ability to use your challenges. That's when the universe has the ability to use what you are. And that is a son and a daughter of the Most High God. A blessing in this universe to where the universe is utilized through you. That you are a tool in this universe. That you are a blessing. Are you seeing it for yourself? Are you becoming it on a daily? Are you giving yourself that place? Are you seeing your right as a son and a daughter of the Most High? Ask yourself this kind of question. What is it going to take for me to get there? Is my knowledge and my focus disciplined to that level? Am I to that place inside of myself? Am I to that place where I have what it takes? Where I make it through my own challenges? Where I utilize this universe and I put 100% and I give the 10 to the Most High God? We are a tool in this universe. It's time we better start to learn to use our knowledge and our focus to the place where we become disciplined, because this is the best classroom you were ever given. This is the best classroom you'll ever go through, and this is the best classroom is to enjoy the process. And you have the process to be that student inside the classroom with you. You have the process to be that student to face off against that kind of challenge. You have the process of being that student to face off against that person who says it's not possible within you. You can find a way with your mind to achieve that. Rich Goodman got in a car accident, actually an airplane accident. The diaphragm collapsed. He was deemed paralyzed inside a hospital. He could barely blink. He decided within 2 years he was going to walk out of the hospital. He's known as Miracle Man because his mind, he understood this, that the body is clay to the mind. So what I'm teaching you, the people throughout time have been teaching throughout time. Foundation of focus, a place of discipline, a reflection of inspiration, and a self-study of meditation. What we utilize is up to you. You can utilize and focus on your strengths to where they become a place on the outside. You can do it, you can achieve it, you can become it. You are it when you manifest it. I want you to see all the blessings that you are. I want to see all the challenges that you have turn towards positivity, connect with the networks, motivation, meditation, inspiration.yoga. And I just want to bless you all a blessed night as blessings, 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 and namaste.